Okay, so my last video, I defined white privilege. Or at least try to give a little more so that people stop getting mad when when they hear the word white privilege and they go, well, I'm poor. I want to talk about the benefits of racism, okay? Because there are a lot of people out there that think, well, I'm not racist, so why should I care about this stuff? Or I don't see color, so why should I care about this stuff? That's good for you. I'm glad that you're not racist, but that's not enough, guys. Okay? I'm going to say this out loud, and I'm going to get a whole bunch of shit. But I don't believe that the majority of this country are bigots. I don't. I do not believe that they are bigots. Okay? But here's the fact. This country was built on bigotry. All right? I'm going to talk about some really ugly history because we got to face the history in order to really understand what's wrong today. All right? There was a great moment on The Daily Show where Jon Stewart was talking to Bill O'Reilly, I think. It was either Bill O'Reilly or Chris something. But he asked about Levittown. Levittown was a government-funded neighborhood for veterans returning from World War II so that they could get their lives started and actually build a foundation for what we call today generational wealth. Okay? We're not talking like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs money, just enough money to raise their kids, have a house, have a family, have a pension, and not have to eat cat food when they retired. All right? And Jon Stewart asked if there are any black people in Levittown. And of course the dude dodged the question. All right? Here's what was so important about that. There were black veterans, but they didn't get that help. Okay? We like to live under an illusion in this country that as soon as slavery stopped, it was all okay. But then we realized, wait, black people can't vote. So as soon as we gave them the right to vote, and I say we because I'm an American or I'm from the United States, I have citizenship here, so I'm part of the problem too. And I'm trying to be part of the solution. But we have this idea that as soon as the system takes the boot off the back of the neck of the people that it's on, that everything's okay. And that's not the way it works. You know? Yeah, black people have the right to vote. But you know what we never got? We never got a place to launch from. We didn't have the same foundation that the rest of white America had. And guess what? We still haven't. There was a long-standing movement in this country from slavery to today. And yeah, I'm bringing up slavery a lot. And you guys are just going to have to bear with me. But there was a movement in this country. It was picked up by the Germans in the 1940s of painting black people as criminals and murderers and rapists and everything Donald Trump said that brown people were when he first started going for the presidency back in 2015. There are posters comparing us to gorillas. The fact is, in this country, we have been trained to see black people as less than. And I say we because it affects black people too. Okay? From the time that we are children, we're taught to see people of my skin color or anyone whose skin is darker than that of a paper bag as different and lesser. Okay? I date interracially because I love women. So when I hit on a woman, I'm hitting on a woman because of how she looks, what she thinks, what her personality is like, and what we have in common. Okay? That means I've dated a lot of white girls. A whole lot of white girls in my time. And I will tell you, I have never had a white woman whose family thought that I was okay. And that's that question. Well, you might be okay with Negroes, but would you let them date your daughter? You know, and a lot of you guys just cringed and you're trying to do the whole, well, I'm not, then I'm not fucking talking to you. But I bet you have a friend that you can think about when it comes to that. I can bet dollars to donuts. And the fact is, since I know I'm right about this, and I don't know that I'm right in a fucking self-righteous way, but go out there and look. You know, a couple of days ago, someone called our first lady an ugly black bitch. Now, Michelle Obama is, in my opinion, a very attractive woman. Okay, just my opinion. But, is she a bitch? Well, what woman isn't what we consider bitchy from time to time? But to call her a bitch the majority of the time, how would this woman know? But I had to point out to somebody that when you are insulting someone and you're giving a list of their fault, when you put race in there, and that race has a history of being treated as lesser than you, then you're being racist. Because when you're insulting someone, you're saying ugly, self-righteous, cowardice. These are all things that you shouldn't be. So ugly, self-righteous, cowardice, bitchy, just throwing a whole bunch of out there. And then black, it's saying that you shouldn't be these things. Okay? That's the insidiousness of the institutional racism, because this was a woman who decided whether or not people got home loans. Okay? See, every rant I go on leads right back to the point, so you gotta bear with me. I'll try and rant less. But see, the fact of the matter is that in this country, we look at black people, okay, my people, like they don't have as much money as they should. You know, one of the reasons Sandra Bland was pulled over was for dancing in her car at a stopped light? Really? You know, she shouldn't dance at a stopped light while not taking her eyes off of the road? You know, one of the reasons that I've heard a whole lot of the substantiated stuff about the death in Ferguson, well, he should have been walking on the sidewalk. What is so wrong with people of my color to where dancing inside their own private property is a crime? You know, the institutional racism comes from this. There are harsher punishments for the same crimes. There are harsher punishments for lesser crimes. Okay, I've gotten into it with so many people. And my prime example is the Dark Knight shootings. Okay, back in Colorado when Batman the Dark Knight, awesome movie, came out, there was a dude that dressed up like the Joker who walked into a movie theater and shot everybody. Or basically everybody. And he was arrested. He's standing trial. The trial is still pending at the time of this video. Okay? He got arrested. He lived to make it to the police station. He's standing trial. You know, over the past 2 years, we've had a bunch of shot dead black people for things that aren't nearly as terrible as mass killing. And mass killing is defined as the deaths of 5 or more people simultaneously. This guy shot 70-something people. He got a trial. Tamir Rice had an airsoft gun at a public park, and he's dead today. No trial. You know? And that's the insidiousness of the institutional racism. Not just that he didn't get justice as the Constitution guarantees us, but the fact that a child with dark skin is considered automatically a threat in this country with no probable cause, no previous record, no reasons for being considered threatening to a person who has had government-sponsored training in firearms, non-lethal takedowns, close quarters combat. Okay, a person who has all of this training is still fearful of a child with a toy gun. Really? That's not racist? It's not racist to say that the black kid holding a toy gun that's sold at damn near every Kmart, Target, Walmart, and Safeway, if Safeway is still out there, is more threatening or is dangerous to someone with all that training. You know, there's no genetic proof of this. There's, you know, if that were the case, then I would have won a lot more fights in the times that I was jumped for being in the wrong neighborhoods, both by black people and white people. You know? But I'm not more dangerous than a police officer. You know, forget training. Forget martial arts training or street smarts and all that stuff. I don't have a gun, a billy club, handcuffs, a taser, backup, and a 12 gauge in the car. Empirically, I'm not as threatening. But I'm considered to be. And I didn't do anything to earn that reputation. You know, as I was growing up, I used to hear the term, he's so articulate. He has such a wide vocabulary. And opposed to what? What was the expectation of how I was supposed to sound? And that is what we talk about when we're talking about the institutional racism. What is it considered to be black? You know, why is it a black person is automatically considered to be less educated, poorer, and more dangerous, instead of being just like Chad? They grew up on the same block, you know. So next we're going to get to the benefits of racism, like the real benefits of racism. We've talked about the bad stuff, but I want us to get into the actual benefits, okay? The things where when a lot of people are told, well, they're benefiting from the legacy of racism, that's where the conversation stops. So I want to point that out. I'm going to do that in another video, okay? All right. I will talk to you guys in a bit.